So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually take the sides right here. We're going to take and push those. We're going to open it up in the back here and kind of push it down in the middle. Just kind of push it to one side right there. See? Then you can see your cockpit area right here. And so right now it's just kind of pushed to one side in the back as we push that down in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of get a hold of that right there. Let this piece kind of go center right there, right along that line. And then just kind of push that down on top, kind of like that, if you can see what's going on right there. It doesn't have to look perfect on this. This is just to kind of center everything. So just kind of flatten that out. And now the top of our cockpit's basically done at this point. So what we're going to do is just kind of fold our wings up and out of the way. Kind of fold along this line right here. Fold it up and out of the way. Just careful not to tear right here. Alright, flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. You guys have to forgive me, my camera stopped recording because it was hot from the lights in here, so I had to kind of start over with another airplane. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're to a point where the top is done basically on the front area here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of flatten this out like that, and you're actually going to end up laying it to the side a little bit like that. So lay it to one side, flip it over. Now what we're going to do is you can see our fold right here in the middle area. We're going to take and fold this into the middle area right here, just like that. Alright, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Fold it into the middle area, just like this right here. Sorry if I'm going a bit fast right now, guys, but this is a long tutorial for time reasons. If you need to go back and rewind it or pause it or whatever, feel free. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to push those back out again, and we're going to reverse fold those folds that we just made. Kind of flatten it out and reverse fold that along the same line that we just made. Go ahead on the other side, reverse fold it along the other line, just like that. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of make sure that the cockpit lays to one side still. Push it open like that. We're going to fold this into the center now. So just you can let the other piece on the side just kind of flip out from underneath it right there. Just like this, right into the center area. You can see that. The lighting's kind of bright in here. Right into the center. Alright. What we're going to do, I'm going to push this out like that. Let it go right into the middle, like that. And now it's going to look kind of like a church. See? A church. Here's the doors, and here's the steeple, and open the doors, and there's all the people in there. Anyway. That's kind of silly. Anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this and we are going to flip it over to the top area again. Now I've kind of flattened the cockpit out to the way it was supposed to be again. Sorry, I'm fixing something really quick here. Bear with me. Yeah, just kind of push things to the side in there. When you flatten that out, by the way, now that I've flattened that out, it's kind of laying everything to the side in there. So just kind of take your finger, put it inside of there, and crease one piece one way. Inside of that, crease one piece one way and one piece the other way. And just kind of flatten that out on the inside. It's kind of hard to see what it's doing in there. If you can see that, kind of flatten it out like that. Anyway. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to fold from this point right here into the middle area right there where our fold is at right there. We're going to end up doing that on both sides. So just kind of grab that, fold it back just like that, right up into the point. Very good. Alright, so there's one fold. We're going to take and fold that back and do it the other way now. So take and grab that and fold it to that point right there. It actually works really good if you put your finger right there. It won't let it fold anything past where your finger is pushing down on there. So it's a good trick for other paper airplanes if you're having a hard time getting the fold to do what you want it to do. So back to the point, right from that, right there. Good, right into the middle, just like that. Alright, now what we're going to do, we're going to kind of look at that right now. You can see we got a nice V shape right there. And what we're going to end up doing, let's zoom out just a little here. What I'm going to end up doing right here is you're going to stick your hand like what we did with the little church thing we were talking about earlier. Put your finger inside of that area right there. Kind of flatten that out a little bit so you can get your finger in there. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to go along those lines that we just made and do a reverse fold on them. So, just very patiently, very carefully, do a reverse fold on that. Don't worry about it if things are open or if it's sticking up weird right now, because we're not flattening it out on the table at this point. We're going to kind of make a three-dimensional kind of tent shape almost. Okay, we're going to get inside, reverse fold that other part right there. Right there, just like that. Okay, there's our kind of tent shape I was telling you about. Okay, now what we're going to do, now that we've got our reverse folds done all the way down to the point right there, is we're actually going to take and we're going to push this down right in the middle just a bit and pinch it from the sides at the same time. So just like this, kind of push it in the middle. There, make sure our folds stay where they're at. Now what we're going to do is as you pinch it, just kind of flatten that out on the table. Just like that. Very good. Alright. Just let our, what we're going to do is as we fold that, we're just going to make a fold from here all the way back into the back. Just kind of crease it to one side. Try to keep it as uniform as possible. Just crease it to one side. And now reverse fold that the other direction. So now it should stick straight up like that. And that's going to be the tail of our airplane. You can start to see that F-16 look right here. Looks good, doesn't it? Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to take from this area right here, we're going to come down about, let's see, about 1/4 of an inch from the tip right here. And then we're going to come and make a fold. We're going to kind of come back to this area right here, and we're going to come back in that area straight. We're going to make a fold straight across this area, and then we're going to come back about 1/2 of an inch from this tip right here. So 1/4 of an inch wouldn't be bad either, but just so we have enough room to fold it inwards. So now we're going to make our fold right there. So 1/4 of an inch right there from the tip. Fold that back. It's actually kind of 1/3 of an inch, so between 1/2 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. Oh, sorry. Between 1/2 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch is where we need to be. So that area right there. So just like that. Now what we're going to do is kind of flip that up this direction. Do the same thing on the other side, and try to make it as uniform as possible. If you need to lay it flat like this, take that and kind of flatten that out. You can see where our other fold is at now. Just kind of fold right to that point right there. Anyway, sorry, I'm a little bit close here. Let's back up a bit. Alright. Okay, yeah, so fold right along that so that it matches up with the other one. Just like that. Alright. Okay. Now what we're going to do is if the folds are too big in here, you might need to adjust it just a little bit, but this piece actually has to fold inside now, and there's a little bit of something right there that can get kind of hard to deal with. So we're just going to kind of try and fold that inside right here. Fold it inwards right there. Now if it folds back just a little bit right there on the inside, don't worry about it. That's okay. If it kind of gets a little bit of a crease in that area. Right there. See what I'm saying? If we fold it in and it's doing that little jog thing right there, it's not too bad. That's okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing on the other side and let it do the same thing. Just kind of fold it down. And on the inside right there, that's our back area. It's going to do a little jog on the inside. Don't worry about that part. Okay. So now we're starting to get our tail shape right there. Whew, okay, now what we're going to do, I'm going to back it up just a little here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do some work on the bottom that's going to be a little bit tricky, but we'll get it. So I'll just kind of flatten this out on the table, like that. Now you're going to kind of lay one, or the tail and the cockpit to the side, turn it on its top. Okay. This area right here, what we're going to do is we're going to take, actually going to fold this line right here up to where it goes up against that right there. Just like that. Just like that. Right up to that point. Just so that they're good and parallel with each other. The more parallel they are, the better your tail is going to look, because if it's not parallel, it's going to make it hard to get the right angle on the back end. So just take from this point back into this area. Just make sure that this folds up and right up against the other line. Just like that. Alright. Good. Okay, so they should meet up in the middle right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do another fold like we did with the cockpit area. This is a fold I do a lot in this particular airplane. So what we're going to do is make a fold from here up to where this piece matches up right there. So I'm going to take and kind of push that back, get our finger inside of this area right here, and kind of lay this flat right here. So it's kind of doing a little 3D thing there. Push that down and increase it all the way back to the tip. Now in this area you're going to need to kind of let it let it move with the fold, because this piece is actually going to lay parallel with this line.